Welcome to the HyperFast Agent Growth Show. Get real strategies, real results, and real estate them differently. Lead generation, team building, AI, and more from billion-dollar agents, best-selling authors, international speakers, and real estate coaches, Kerry Shull and Lesniak. Let's dive in!
What's up, HyperFast Nation? On this episode of the HyperFast Agent Growth Show, I am going to show you the exact things I would do if I was starting my real estate business from square one, going back to zero. All right, so the first thing I would do is map out a lead generation strategy, right? If I'm starting out, if you're starting out, you want to get leads right away. That is the most important thing. I'm going to tell you 4 different ways to do that. So number 1, I would become an expired and FSBO hunter. Every day there are for sale by owners hitting the market. The vast majority of them end up selling with an agent. Every day there are multiple expireds that hit every market. Sellers that, raised their hand, said they were willing to pay an agent, wanted to sell their home, and that agent didn't get the job done. Not saying it's their fault always. Sometimes the sellers list too high. Right? But in any case, every day homes are coming off the market, expireds, cancels, withdrawns. So I would learn simple scripts. The classic ones by people like Mike Ferry, Tim Harris still work, right? I've been using them in my own business, proving this. We've done podcasts on it. You can go back and look, but I would become an expired hunter, FSBO hunter, and I would call them twice a day, 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Right, call all the new ones every day, twice a day. Second thing I would do is lean in on my sphere of influence. I would call them up, have coffees, have lunches, right? Ask for referrals, ask for their business, let them know I am in real estate. Third thing I would do is I would go all in on open houses. Now you might say, well, if you're just starting out, you don't have listings. Guess what? There are agents in your brokerage, in your office that do and would gladly have extra open houses, gives them something to tell the seller. And, I'm not just going to show up 5 minutes before the open and put a couple signs out. No, I'm going all in. So I'm going to, try and schedule it the week before, the week leading up to it. I'm going to make social media posts about it. I am going to circle prospect and call the closest 100 or 200 neighbors. And I am going to door knock the day before as well. So I'm going to door knock and call around the opens, put out a ton of directionals with my branding on it, balloons on the signs as well, right? We're going all in. I'm going to make sure I get there early. I'm going to create walkthrough videos, maybe do a live post. So, right, the first few things I've mentioned here, have nothing to do with social media, but I'm going to use social media along the way to document my activity, get my name out there, right? Build a brand that people are associating me, as a real estate agent in their area. All right. And then the fourth thing I'm going to do is a hyper local strategy. This is actually how I sold 22 million my first year in the real estate business, right? You can read about it too in my best-selling book. You can get it on Amazon or anywhere you buy books actually. So I detailed that strategy in depth, but it's a pretty simple strategy. You got to pick a target market, right? It shouldn't be too big. You don't need to do this with thousands of homes. I started with 200, right? 200 in one condo building, and I ended up getting over 50% market share year one, right? Over 22 million sales, and half of it came from one building. All right. So, pick the target, hit them multiple times, multiple ways, right? So you want to call them, door knock them, get them on an e-newsletter, send them direct mail, right? Try to find open houses if you don't have any yet in that area, host open houses in that area. I would do buyer and seller seminars for the people in that area, right? So, top 4 ways for me to get started off in lead gen: expireds and FSBOs, sphere of influence, open houses, and a very tightly, neatly defined hyper local target. All right, so that's kind of the first step, right? Get going. Because the most important thing you need in any new business is revenue, right? You need leads. You need to build your pipeline. While I'm doing that, the second thing I'm going to focus on is building out admin and marketing systems, follow-up systems using AI. We've done plenty of episodes on this podcast, so if you haven't heard any of those, go back and listen to them on different AI systems out there. And really, you need to become a student of it because it changes faster than like anything we've ever experienced before. When I first started off in real estate about 15 years ago, you could find a new strategy and system and run with it for years, with minor tweaks. Now AI, the pace is just so fast that what was working, 3 4 months ago might already be old. What wasn't working last month might be on fire now. And the goal of AI, by the way, is to replace as much of your non-income producing activities as possible, right? So as a real estate agent, you want to spend most of your time either prospecting for new leads, following up with existing leads, and converting the leads in your pipeline. Those three activities. So, um, you know, AI is not going to replace your ability to give sellers and buyers confidence and certainty and guide them through the process. And hopefully it'll give you more time to do that, right? If it's managing your schedule, managing your inbox, creating marketing pieces for you, creating seller packets for you. And there are so many different systems out there. That's not the point of this episode. We've done a ton before. You can go back and check them, but you need to invest in building out AI systems for yourself and plugging into the most effective ones that are in the market right now, right? So that you can spend more time on your income producing activities. All right. And then the third thing that I would do as a brand new agent, and I wish 15 years ago I knew about this, but I would build for the future with revenue share. Add a brokerage that offers revenue share. If you're a real estate agent and you're not at a revenue share brokerage, you are missing out on the greatest opportunity that real estate agents have ever had. All right. And it's very easy to get in this trap of predominantly thinking transactional, right? Thinking, all right, get a lead, convert it, make a sale, earn a paycheck, and repeat. All right. And even if you build out a really big team, that's not really a business. It's not one that you can step away from and still get paid. It's not one that you can step away from and still watch it grow. With the revenue share system, basically, brokerages like eXp Realty have decided to let the agents have ownership and decided to let the agents have the opportunity to grow the company and get paid for it. And you're not just getting paid on the agents that you sponsor and recruit into the company. You're getting paid on the agents that from the agents that those agents sponsor and so forth. Like it goes down 7 levels. Like I've been there 3.5 years. I've have about 52, 55, somewhere in that number of agents that I've directly recruited the company, but I have a group size now of over 450 agents. And the brokerage, eXp Realty, shares their revenue, right? Because all brokerages need fees to run their business, right? So instead of paying recruiters, they share that revenue back with the agents. And I just highly, highly encourage you guys, like even if retirement's not something that's 10, 20, even 30 years away, like the day is coming when you as a real estate agent, me as a real estate agent, will sell our last house. And this is why I think our a lot of agents, unfortunately, in the industry struggle financially because they spend all this time helping other people buy and sell homes and build their equity, build their dreams. But brokerages traditionally, historically, like the old models, they haven't focused on helping agents build wealth. That's not the case at eXp Realty, right? They give you the opportunity to create passive income streams, own stock in the company that you're growing through stock awards. And, whether or not you're retiring in a year, 5 years, 10 years, or you just want to know that, hey, if I have a month where I don't sell a home, if I have a summer I want to take and spend with my kids and do this awesome vacation, right? Because we only get 18 summers with our kids. If I have a parent who's going through something difficult, health related, right? Or whatever it is, and I want to spend time with them, wouldn't it be nice if you still got paid? And, with revenue share, that is very, very possible. And, it's not like selling a home where you're going to get a big check right away. But it's something that will pay you uh, repeatedly and for a very long time. And, you can actually step away from it. You can step away from sponsoring agents, recruiting agents into eXp Realty, and it can still grow because it's based on 7 levels. Like the company um, has been profitable throughout almost all of its history. The last several years, it's given over $200 million back to the agents in revenue share and stock. So, I know you might be thinking, well, if I'm a new agent, if I'm just starting out, like, how would I ever recruit an agent? Why would they want to join me? Well, guess what? When you join eXp Realty, you have 7 people in your upline, seven, direct sponsor and 6 others. So if you join, if you're sponsored by someone that is a strong recruiter, is well known in the industry, you're not recruiting the person to join you. You're recruiting the person to join everybody in your upline, right? When I joined eXp Realty, I joined with a very strong sponsor, well-known real estate coaches, Tim and Julie Harris. And, they would get on 3-way calls with me. Tim would help me in the beginning. And it's no different than, what I think you would experience as an agent if you picked a really good sponsor, someone that has a strong sales history, coaching history, and recruiting history. And, so you don't have to be a big name. You don't have to have a lot of experience to do it. In fact, like many of the top revenue share earners at eXp Realty are not huge team leaders, are not huge, real estate coaches. They just partnered with people that were, they made contacts. They presented the opportunity to people that they came across, in their normal course of business, and it just took off. Right. So, again, I know, like as a new agent, or if I was starting out, like, yeah, I've got to hammer expireds, sphere of influence, open houses, get a hyper local niche target. I've got to build out systems to help me as my lead flow and pipeline builds. Right. But I've also got to build for the future. And, if you're listening to this, um, I hope you are open to that possibility, and I, just want to mention as I wrap up, when you join eXp Realty and you pick me as your sponsor or someone in my group, you don't just get all of the benefits that eXp Realty offers, right? The stock awards, the revenue share opportunity, all of the great training that eXp does, the low splits and caps. You also, by associating with myself or another agent in our group, you get access to over $40,000 of coaching products and trainings. Um, you know, Tim and Julie's coaching program, the coaching HyperFast Agent coaching program that my wife Carrie Shaw and I built. Multiple trainings, done for you recruiting websites, right? We truly become your partners and help you grow your sales business and build revenue share. If that's something that you're interested in doing, if you want to build for your future. If, by the way, as I wrap up here, if that's something you're interested in exploring, I'd love to have that conversation with you. I would be honored to partner with you and get on a quick call, show you what it looks like, and show you how I can help you build your now business and your future business. All you need to do is text me at 703-638-4393, or click on the links in the show notes. DM me on Instagram at the Dan Lesniak, and I would be honored to have that conversation with you. Before I sign off, I do want to mention we've got an amazing event coming up in the Washington, D.C. area on May 6th and 7th, the HyperFast Agent Summit. We've got over 15 amazing real estate agents and leaders speaking, including one of the top real estate coaches in the world, John Cheplack. We've made tickets super cheap. We want to make this accessible to as many people as possible. We're not looking to make money on the event. We just want to do our best to cover our costs, and we've got a lot of great sponsors helping out with that too. So click on the link in the show notes, DM me on Instagram, get your tickets to the next HyperFast Agent Summit. Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode. I will see you next time.
You've been listening to HyperFast Agent Growth Show with Kerry Scholl and Dan Lesniak. Real strategies, real results, real estate done differently. If you love this episode, tap subscribe and share it with another agent who's ready to grow.